Hey guys, so if y'all remember, and maybe you were watching back in August, July, August, I did a video about my own health, like what I was going through, like hormonally. And I had gone to get my blood drawn, full blood panel, the whole works, like read everything. I wanted to know what was going on with me because I wasn't feeling like my normal self. I was doing all the right things, trying to eat well, trying to exercise regularly, all these things. But for the better part of a year or more, I had just kind of sunken into this unmotivated, depressed type of state, low energy, low libido, just depleted of my zest. I'll say that. And I really didn't understand why, because I was literally doing everything that I'd always done. It's just I was having to force myself to do these things, like force myself to eat well, force myself to exercise, force myself to even want to coach people or even do anything to encourage anyone else. And so that one thing that I didn't want to do, the things that normally brought me joy, was my number one red flag to get to the bottom of it. And so when I backtrack, a lot of times in Clean Kitchen, we say, let's work backwards to the root problem. Like, what could be causing this? Let's go back through our day, through our actions to try to pinpoint what could be a possible, trigger for whatever's happening. And so that's what I did, but I couldn't because I was doing all the things, I couldn't understand. So I was like, it's got to be something on a, biological, physiological level that I just don't understand. And so that's what drove me to go see a doctor that specialized in this, reading my hormones, relating what, things were going on in my body, and relating them to the numbers on the page and what possibly could cause it. And so when I went, these were my symptoms. I mentioned, low energy, low motivation, feeling of depression, anxiety. I was having thinning hair, or so I felt like, nothing like major, but I also was having bathroom issues where I was normally, when I was feeling good, I was regular, like every day going to the bathroom. And over time, or over that course of that year, I was constipated and just wasn't going to the bathroom like I normally would. So I thought that was weird. So anyways, fast forward, got the blood work. She explained things. My estrogen, estradiol was a little high. Testosterone was slightly low, probably not super low as what some people would probably see, because I do work out and I do have muscle mass. Interesting enough, my B12, B vitamins, I was deficient in B12. She explained it where some numbers said that it was in my system, it's just I wasn't absorbing it. So I thought that was weird because I eat a lot of meat and a lot of things that would give you your B12 vitamins for the day, but I just wasn't absorbing it. So that could cause the low energy as well. And then she showed me some stuff in my gut that could be either a gluten intolerance, like a gluten sensitivity, or she even said it could be a parasite. Now, I don't think it was a parasite, because I actually ended up going gluten-free for the month she told me to. And then also I did this gut cleanse, the supplement, which I can post in the comments, that actually got me regular. But what I think happened, and before I left my appointment, I had every intention of keeping my birth control, my IUD, in. But as soon as I left that doctor's office, she, basically told me that my IUD, my progesterone was really high. And IUDs, the one that I had, Mirena, creates a synthetic progesterone. And so it could have caused my other hormones to start kind of try to counterbalance the high progesterone and starting to throw everything off whack, out of whack. And so, she gives me that little nugget of information. I took that information, that was a Wednesday. I came home Thursday, Friday, did all the research on IUDs and side effects and stuff. And by Friday, I was making an appointment with my gynecologist to get that sucker out. And so I did. Literally, thank heavens, the next week, for whatever reason, they had an opening, a cancellation, like they called me on Monday to get me in. And I got it out. And everybody was like, what are you going to do if you get pregnant? And I'm like, well, then I just get pregnant and I'll be a 40-year-old mom. There are worse things that could happen. But I just was at a point where I was doing everything that I possibly could. And that was the only thing that pointed to a lot of my symptoms. And so I decided I got it out. And I hadn't told my doctor yet. She said she wanted me to do the gut cleanse thing. And then she had me on a few other supplements to see, if it helped any. But I hadn't told her that I was getting my IUD out. Well, I go back a month later. So that was in August. No, actually, I went back in October to her. And I ended up telling her that I got my IUD out. And she was like, oh, that's fantastic. Well, let's just, things had, cleared up and I'm moving along. I still wasn't like feeling 100%, but as far as me now, so I've had my IUD out since August, end of July, August, and now it is May. I feel like a completely different person. Like I'm talking my motivation, like what I said, my zest for life, it feels back. I had a bit of a period of time where I was doubting that things were working, but then I realized that these things with our body, like changes in our body, take time. And we just have to understand that we can only control our actions and what we're doing. And so if we're doing all the things right and we see some kind of progress, even if it is slow, we know that our body is adjusting and starting to change. And so all through the fall, I just had to say to myself, it's all fine. We're gonna get back to our normal, zest for life and motivation of all the things and see what happens. So I'm so glad that I decided to listen to my body and not think that I was crazy, and went ahead and just wanted answers. I'm naturally a curious person, and I naturally like to learn about all the things, and I ask all the questions, especially when it comes to my own health. And so I want to encourage anyone out there that is feeling just like their mood, their energy, their whatever, and you're doing things that you should be doing. You're getting sleep, you are eating right, but things are just not changing. I really encourage you to get a full blood panel and then have it read to you by somebody that can interpret it for you, just to try to give you a game plan, or at least a direction to go in. You understand what you're working with. One of the best people to talk about this type of stuff would be Coach Meredith, because she has been in years long battle with Hashimoto's, going back and forth, doing, autoimmune protocol, diet, all the things, like tried everything. And she, committed herself actually this past year to throwing away all the hype, all the crazy voodoo, gimmicky things, and just focused on doing the right actions, letting her body heal. And I can't wait. I hope she does this, but I hope she shares her pictures. Even her pictures from like 6 months ago to now. Like, she's still on her journey, but it's just amazing what will happen when you give your body a chance to heal. Like, you go through a process of, yeah, you may not feel like the best, but you know these actions are what you need to do, and you do them anyways because you know with given time that things are going to work out. Her story is something that I hope that she shares soon. But I just wanted to give that update on how I was doing, because I've definitely had a lot of people ask me about that and how I feel in my IUD, or with the IUD out. And I will never go back to any kind of birth control. I will not mess with my hormone levels in an unnatural way ever again. I'm just sad that I did it for the majority of my adult life, from being a teenager on. I don't know how that affected anything else in my life. I'm pretty sure that I would have definitely had some, better overall, general better feeling about just life and motivation and stuff if I hadn't been on artificial hormones for birth control. So I'm not telling everybody to go get off of it. If that's your thing, and you're fine, do it. But if you ain't feeling right, I would definitely do my research on it, because I'm on the other side of it. And, I'm headed into another phase of life. I just turned 40 this year, and I don't need any more inconveniences when it comes to hormonal health. I'm trying to keep it all nice and steady, and I do not need anybody else telling me that I need to do something artificial to my body. So you do you, but if you want to use me as an example, I got my IUD out. I'm not on birth control, and I feel amazing for it. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. Bye, guys.